Now we're really going to get into the meat of the Dream Job course. In this video, you're going to be constructing your resume template. I'm going to go over what is the goal of the resume template and how to effectively construct it. By the end, you're going to have a solid template that you'll be able to use as a baseline for all your job applications. So let's get right into it. Hey everyone, Danny here with OJIS, helping you to challenge status quo and find your dream job. In order to maximize your chances of landing an interview, every resume that you submit needs to be tailored to a specific job posting. In this course, you will not be creating one resume and submitting that with all job applications, because that will not land you your dream job. Notice that this video is titled Resume Template and not just Resume. I specify the word template because this version of your resume is going to be used as a baseline for all your job applications. The goal of the resume template is to have a generic version of your resume that you can modify and tailor for every single job application. After you complete this video, there's still one last additional step that needs to be taken in order to have a fully completed resume that is ready for a job application submittal. I describe this last step as embedding the job posting into your resume and cover letter. The thing is, in order to complete this last step, you need to know which job you're applying for, and that is not complete until Module 3. Therefore, this video is going to help you create that resume template, which will be ready for that last step, which you will then morph into your final resume. In order to assist you in creating this resume template, I have provided a resume layout that I strongly recommend you using. This layout can be found in other content. Definitely feel free to customize your resume, personalize it, and make it yours, but make sure you follow the general layout as it will give you the best resume structure. As you can see, the resume starts off with your name, address, phone number, and email address. This is all your personal contact information that you need to provide. Simple, short, and sweet. Next, the objective of your resume. This is often underestimated, but this is a big one. Imagine that the hiring manager or recruiters are sorting through hundreds of resumes, and this is the first line that they're going to read about you. You want it to catch their attention. Something that I notice many people do is that they have a very generic objective statement. I'm an aerospace engineer, so a bad and boring statement would be something like aerospace engineer, or to become an aerospace engineer at a reputable company, or to obtain a job where I can expand my skills and knowledge while earning experience in the aerospace industry. While they might sound good, the mistake here is that those examples do not sound confident and direct. You need to let them know exactly what you want. You can do two things to improve these statements. Instead of using your degree title, use the name of the position found in the job posting. Sometimes it won't be different, but if it is, then use their name for that position. Also, mention the company that you're applying for. Let them know that you want a job with them and not just anyone. Let them know that you made this resume specifically for them. Therefore, if I was applying for a flight test engineering position at the make-believe OJIS Aerospace Company, then my best objective statement would simply be flight test engineer at OJIS Aerospace Company. It is specific, confident, and directly oriented towards them. And because of this tactic, the objective statement will change with every job application. Don't forget this. Next, education. This section will be straightforward. Enter the name of your degree, for example, Masters of Science in Aerospace Engineering, following that with your GPA as stated on your transcripts. Follow that with the university where you received this degree and the city and state where it is located. After that, I recommend mentioning the graduation date so that the hiring manager has a reference point as to how long ago you went to the university and when did you enter the professional world. A simple month and year is sufficient. Repeat this for all degrees that you have earned. So now we move on to experience. This section is critical in what I consider the most important section of your resume. This section will contain descriptive paragraphs about your experience from either an academic or professional employment setting. And you're going to make these paragraphs your primary selling point. This is because you will make it full of detail about how your experiences and skills match up with the job posting that you are applying for. Since this section is strongly correlated with the job posting, filling out this section will be left for later when you get to Module 3. Now for professional employment. This section is also very important, and you want to be very tactful which jobs you mention and how you describe your jobs. I mention which jobs because sometimes it isn't beneficial to mention all your previous jobs. For example, if I have 2 internships under my belt along with a few years at a company, then listing my college jobs of being a bartender and server may not benefit me. You want to make sure that you're not distracting the hiring manager with information that isn't relevant to the job and your degree if you don't have to. However, what if I only have 1 internship under my belt with no professional experience? Then it will be beneficial for me to mention my bartending or serving jobs. Since I don't have much experience in this scenario, I need to show that I do have some experience working at a job. If you don't have a lot of professional employment examples, then those bartending or serving jobs or other college jobs will help you get the job if you describe your tasks and responsibilities correctly. There's no perfect solution here, and you'll have to make a choice of what to include and what not to include. As a rough rule, I would say to have at least 3 professional jobs or internships listed in this section, no matter what they are. However, if you have more than 3, put a little more thought into it. If your list of 4 or more jobs are all professional jobs relevant to your degree and the job that you're applying for, then definitely mention all of them. But if some of them are not relevant to your degree or not relevant to the job that you are applying for, then consider removing these in order to highlight your strong professional employment. Make your best judgment here. I know you'll make a good decision if you consider what I mentioned. Let's continue on. Before the bullet points, make sure to mention your official job title, the company you worked at and their location, and the date range when you worked there. For the bullet points, you want to describe your main role and tasks for the job using precise and descriptive vocabulary. Be very clear with what you say because the hiring manager will most likely know absolutely nothing about your previous job. And aim at making yourself sound good and important and the star of the project, but definitely do not lie. I would aim to have at least 3 bullet points and no more than 5 per job. In these bullets, show the hiring manager that you took charge of your tasks. Describe the work that was assigned to you and your responsibility. Also, show that you're a good team member. Mention that you have worked in a team, collaborated with others, creating relationship with customers, etc. Make sure to use action verbs. It is a very good rule of thumb to start each bullet with an action verb such as analyzed, developed, supported, conducted, prepared, studied, collaborated, performed, etc. By doing so, this will show the actions that you took and were responsible for, which is what they are interested in learning about. Like the experience section, your bullets for each professional employment will be correlated with the job posting, and therefore this section will be brought up again in Module 3. However, since this section isn't fully dependent on the job posting, it is recommended to fill out this section now in order to have a baseline, but be prepared to do some slight modifications once you get to Module 3. The Proficiencies section explains to the hiring manager what formal training and software proficiencies you have obtained over the years, from either your academic or professional background. If you have received any formal training either on the job or outside the job, then list those here with a brief phrase describing the topic covered. And keep the phrases short. Long descriptions are frowned upon here and distract you from other more important resume material. They should be able to know what the training is with a short description. For software, mention all software that are uncommon to the standard PC user. Mention programming languages, scientific programs, engineering programs, any programs that you had used at the university or at a professional job. Mentioning programs like Microsoft Office honestly gives you no benefit, so don't mention those. Especially for the caliber of positions that you are looking for, it is pretty much a given these days that you know how to use Microsoft Office. For your list of softwares, try to categorize them as best as possible in order to make the list easy to read. For example, I would list my programming languages like MATLAB, C++, Java, or Python into a category called programming software, and then the software that I use for engineering and analysis into a category called engineering software. If you don't feel proficient in a software or program, then I would recommend not mentioning it. Please do not lie, it doesn't take you anywhere. It can come up during the interview and you will have nothing to back up your proficiency claim. Moving on to honorable achievements. This is another important section, but we do want to keep it towards the end of the resume. This is because it does not complement what the recruiter or hiring manager is looking for. The hiring manager is mostly concerned with what direct experience related to the job you have that makes you a good fit for their team. These bullet points that list your achievements are just bonuses that make you look good once the hiring manager makes it through your entire resume. They are icing on the cake. Mention all scholarships, notable mentions, notable awards, notable presentations, any honor societies, if you were invited on the dean's list, as well as any community achievements, such as if you were an Eagle Scout or if you have any sports awards. Last section is publications. I know not everyone will have publications, but if you do, then definitely mention them here. This includes your master's or PhD thesis, along with any journals or internal company publications. Though both APA and MLA formats are available, it is often encouraged for science papers to follow the APA guidelines. That is it. Setting up your resume template is not difficult at all, as you can see. Once you step through all these sections and revise them a few times, you'll have a strong resume template. Be sure to spend a good amount of time on professional employment because this is a very important section and you want to have good descriptions of your jobs before you move on and start tailoring it for each job. Remember that the sections objective, experience, and professional employment will change with each job application. How to modify the objective for each job application was covered in this video. How to modify the experience and professional employment sections for each job application will be covered in Module 3. So after you complete everything mentioned in this video, go back to your checklist and check off Create Resume Template. The next step is to create the cover letter template, which will be covered in the next video. So make sure your resume template is looking awesome, and then let's keep going.